Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. On the screen is a recipe for a wonton soup which tastes every bit as good as it looks. Something a little different for this video. I'll be recreating a recipe from a cookpad author. This was a soup and sides competition won by Auntie Aiko's, hope I pronounced that correctly, International Cuisine. It's a wonton soup, and I hope that I can do it justice, as this puts me very much outside my comfort zone. So, Auntie Aiko, I hope you are happy with my efforts. And if you like this format, keep your eyes peeled because we'll be doing this every now and again. So this recipe requires a chicken stock, and while the ingredients come up on the screen making it, let me explain to you a little bit about the history of wontons. So the ancient Chinese from the south thought that wonton was a sealed bun, and they called it Huntan, which means chaos, but that translates to wonton. Huns and Tuns are the names of the warmongers from the north who used to continually attack because they're very naughty. The southern Chinese put the fillings of their names into the pastry, so when they ate them, they were eating the warmongers and it would bring peace to the region, I think. Okay, so, all kidding aside, I've given that chicken stock a very, very slow simmer, 2 hours, but barely simmering, passing it through a sieve and leave it to the side. Now we're going to make the filling. And it's really simple. Minced pork with some finely chopped up spring onions and some minced garlic or crushed garlic. And salt and pepper. I was a little surprised that so many ingredients for this are actually quite plain, sort of European style. And actually I think it does make the dish really nice. The addition later on of soy and sesame really is enough to give this a really savoury, a delicious, but the flavour of the Orient, but without it being overly pungently spiced. Really lovely. Anyway, plenty of salt and pepper, or to your taste. Use a fork or a spoon when you want to mix the meat together. Keeping the heat from your hands away from it should result in a nicer texture later on when you're eating it. Once I figured out my garlic crusher, because I got it the wrong way around again, but I edited it out, and then I told you. So what was the point? Here we are, mixing it. Now, I bought obviously more minced pork, and I thought I'll keep some back because I was thinking, I'm not sure if this is enough. The recipe says 100 grams. Turns out it wasn't, but I think I was making mine too big, and that is down to probably the size of the wonton sheets. So, Auntie Aiko, my apologies for straying from the recipe a little bit there. So when you buy your wonton sheets, see if you can buy them a bit smaller perhaps than these, or I don't know if it's possible just to cut these in half. But this is the method. Put a little bit of the filling in the centre, just a dab of water along half of the edges, fold it over to make a triangle, try to expel any pockets of air to the best of your ability, give them a nice squeeze, and then I like as a little extra touch to make a nice shape. Dab the corners with water, because that basically makes the glue because it's floury, I guess. Give that a squeeze, and there you have a really nice pretty shape. Fans of pasta will recognise that as a tortellini. I'll give you another close-up of it here. So again, it's just a loose teaspoonful. I'm not packing it in. These are only going to be cooking for a couple of minutes, so you don't want too much in there. You don't want it too dense. Again, there's the water. And there you go. Just push that down there, turn it to the side, and expel the air. Simples, really. It looks harder than it is, I think. And once you're going to make 30 or so of these, so by the end you'll be well practiced. You'll be an expert, I guess. And that wasn't sealing very well, so I just gave it a twist and squeezed it. And that little display that I thought would be nice to show took 20 minutes. And had to speed it up 9,999 times to make it look cool like that. I'm pleased with my efforts. Okay, testing the oil to make sure that was just a little bit of extra wonton pastry to make sure it's sizzled. And in they go. Your deep frying, guys. The rules here are be extremely careful and be prepared to run away screaming if it all goes wrong. No, just don't overfill your pan and put them in nice and gently away from you so they don't splash, and so that there is room for the oil to raise and not go over the top of the pan. So I speed that up a bit. I couldn't turn them over. I thought I'll flip them over and they just wouldn't, so I thought okay, stay that way then. And that's had a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. I have a plate next to this with some kitchen paper on it for them to drain on, and that little straggler can come out. And in with the next batch. And I made another little boo-boo. I got carried away and fried more than I should have done and didn't leave enough for poaching later on. So obviously don't be a silly idiot like me. And that's the soy and the sesame going into this. And then I'm going to have a taste. And now I'm going to adjust the seasoning. Obviously soy is salty, so that's why I didn't want to add any seasoning before. So go back in, have another taste. Is it nice? Yeah, absolutely delicious, actually. And this is for boiling some of the wontons. I was wondering whether it's possible just to poach them in the broth. The recipe said to boil them in water, so I stuck with that. And actually, I think that makes sense because there would be, an extra bit of starch on these, and you don't want that going into your broth and making it cloudy and gloopy. So I think that is a wise move to boil these separately. Again, a couple of minutes. Time to assemble. I went out and bought a bit of banana leaf because I thought it just looked really good. That's taking up loads of space in my freezer now. So a couple of these wontons that I think are too big into the broth. Oh, it's lovely. Top it up, and then we reserved a few of those spring onions for garnish, and that is it. Get stuck in. And here's me getting stuck in. I'm making an absolute mess because I think I made the wontons too big. So go on, get out. And then I'm thinking, do I try to break it with a spoon? Can I get it in half? That'll be easier. No, get out, get out. Ah, it won't come out. Okay, here we go. In one. And apparently slurping is actually a sign of politeness. So that wasn't me being a slob. And that was nice. Nice and crunchy. Really tasty filling. Give it a dunk in there. Really lovely. Auntie Aiko, thank you so much for that absolutely delicious soup and sides recipe that me and my lady loved. So thank you very much once more for watching Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. If you are new here, that subscribe button has a purpose and costs nothing. And if you're from Cookpad, welcome here as well. And anyway, keep tuned. Watch out for the next video, hopefully coming really soon. Bye.